Hey everyone, we're going to get started. I want to introduce you to Corinna Stukan. All right, from Amdocs, who's going to talk to you about a very exciting topic, leveraging GenAI to reimagine your digital banking experiences. So, Corinna, over to you.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm Corinna Stukan, VP of Product at Stellar Elements. We're part of the Amdocs group. Amdocs is a leading technology provider helping banks and financial services institutions with their digital transformations and their innovation roadmap. We do everything from kind of the cloud infrastructure through to the product enablement layer, as well as build new digital experiences for the end customer of those banks and financial service institutions. And we do that at quite some scale. So I'm in a very fortunate position to be talking to lots of banks around the globe. Myself, I'm based in New Zealand, but I get to travel a lot. Amdocs operates in 90 countries worldwide. We have 31,000 employees, so yeah, quite a good reach. And I get to get like a front seat row to having conversations with the banks about their digital strategies and what they're looking into next. And obviously, GenAI is coming up a lot, as you're aware of. But yeah, my focus area is the digital experience for the banking customers. So that's the angle that I'll be exploring today, is how can we leverage GenAI to improve digital customer experiences across the mobile and the web applications that our customers use in the day-to-day. And since this is a GenAI themed talk, I also used my chat tool of choice to ask, what should I start my talk with? And it recommended that I'll start off with establishing my credibility and thought leadership in the GenAI space. And to be honest, we're all kind of, still learning. This is all really blown up this year and last year a lot. And really, we're just starting to have a lot of conversations with banks, and we're seeing some of these trends. But what I really want to do today is have this as a conversation starter and then hopefully continue those conversations with you guys later on, because I think we're all at the start of what is a really, really big shift in technology and financial services that's coming up. So we're all, again, aware of the trend, but what really fascinated me was to see, and this is very much mirrored in the conversations that we have with banks around the globe as well, is that 41% of banks are exploring generative AI in form of some exploration, some proof of concepts today, and that's ahead of other really large areas as well, like open banking and banking as a service. So that just shows you like the scale and the appetite to innovate and explore this area a lot. But since I'm here to talk about experience, I also want to make sure, as excited as I am about the technology, we really need to figure out what are the true customer needs that we need to work backwards from and leverage this technology in. So one of the first use cases or areas that I wanted to explore is financial literacy. I've done a lot of customer interviews over the last few years, and this was a quote that really stuck with me. I did a round of interviews with Gen Z, so 20 to 29-year-olds, and they told me, they were still trying to figure out like how interest works and all of these things that, to me, because I'm working in the financial services industry, come quite natural to me. But they are actually still kind of, as they're already earning good money, still figuring out all these things, don't have savings mechanisms in place. So that's just really the reality of where our customers are coming from, especially in those younger generations. So I was thinking, how can we start this financial education much earlier than that, right? It shouldn't be like well into their 20s when they're figuring out these things. How can we empower banks to provide these kind of educational services to their customer much earlier on in the customer life cycle? So this is where we come to the topic of family banking. So as you can see here, this is actually a product or a proof of concept that we have built already, and we're currently testing with a couple banks and getting quite a lot of good feedback on. So I was thinking, how could we, really empower families to maybe get some more information about the family structure, how many children do they have, how old are they, and then use kind of a GenAI powered chatbot experience to suggest, when there is the right time to open maybe the savings account for your kid, or when to introduce them to savings, for example. And I know GenAI goes a lot further than the chatbot experience, but I think this is really like talking about the customer experience and the interactions. That is one of the areas that I'm really excited about personally. And we took it further. Like, we also explored an area where we can bring really engaging financial education to, once the kids are at an age where they could have an app interface themselves, really create like an interactive experience to educate them on how to, how to save money, how to maybe get money for chores, how later on then interest works, right? All of these things in the financial education journey. At the moment, I'm learning Spanish, and I started completely from scratch. And I actually use like an AI chatbot to, talk to me in Spanish. And because my Spanish is not at the best stage yet, it knows that the chatbot talks to me kind of like a 5-year-old at the moment. That's the stage that I'm in. And I was thinking we could do the same for, in the family banking context, because obviously if you serve this up to a 15 or 16-year-old, their level of financial understanding will be at a completely different level than maybe other generations. And that's really where I see a lot of the power of GenAI, is really getting the context, getting an understanding of where the customer is, and really tailoring the language with empathy to that specific persona, that specific use case. With GenAI, you can also use it to maybe have a lot more interactive savings journeys. So for example, if your teenage kid wants to save up for some AirPods, that experience here can gather some more information about what AirPods are you thinking of, get some information that's publicly available, how much are they, because we know they're spending, we know how much it might take them to save up for this goal, and really guide them through it in this interactive experience. I think that could be really, really powerful. But we're taking this concept a lot further as well. So beyond family banking, we think about it as we call it the you first mindset. So what that is rather than, I guess, the previous approach of a lot of banks and financial services institutions is to have all your various products across retail, business, commercial, and so on, family banking, and serve those up in different customer journeys. Now, that is not really how the customer thinks about it, right? So the you first mindset is really about thinking about you as a holistic customer and all of the different needs that you might have in your day-to-day. So you might have your personal banking accounts, but you might also have a business like on the side maybe, and you might also have 2 children that you want to see their accounts. And so we've combined that in our proof of concept all in like one holistic view, and through like a GenAI powered chat experience that can kind of seamlessly really interact between these different things. GenAI can also be used for the relationship managers inside the bank, right? To summarize, now that we're gathering all this holistic information about the customer, now we can also summarize that and serve it up to employees inside the bank to make their life more efficient. So when they're having conversations with the customer, they have all the relevant context and can have more meaningful conversations with them. And then taking it another step further, what I've been thinking about is how can we really, on a broader level, enhance the different customer journeys and the interactions that our customers have. So in the past, we've all used kind of basic chatbots, and I never had the best experience with them, so a lot of our customers have kind of abandoned them. But I think now is that with GenAI, we can make them a lot more meaningful, really tailor the language that we use, understand a lot more context. So traditional queries would be things like, what is my balance? When is my invoice due? Or what is my cash flow forecast? So all on really structured data that the bank might have. Now we can ask a lot more powerful queries, right? For example, when is the right age to open a bank account for my children and teach them about savings? Or should I refinance my mortgage now or wait another year? Or my business account has a lower balance than expected. Why is that? So this is really what I'm quite excited about. And I know digital advisory is quite scary from a regulatory point of view. I'm very well aware of all the different regulations that are out there globally. But this is just the vision that I think is really, really exciting and we should work towards. And this can be done in several stages, right? It can be maybe rolled out to your internal relationship managers in the bank first, and then they still have the ultimate interface with the customer. But this could be the final vision, that your customers actually interact with you in the digital platform at scale, with the amount of data that we can now process with GenAI, in this really interactive experience. And why is that important? Some recent studies that we've looked at actually showed that customers are really looking for their bank to be like their good friend, right? So someone they can turn to for honest financial advice. And frankly, that is not necessarily happening today unless they talk to the actual employees of the bank. So this is really, I think, the opportunity for banks to do it in a more digital way at scale. So again, this is really a conversation starter. I wanted to bring up some of the opportunities from an experience angle that we're particularly excited about. And we'd love to continue the conversations with you. You can find me on LinkedIn or visit us. It's roughly over there at booth 10001. Yeah, we'd love to chat with you. Can show you the prototype as well that we've built and that we're testing, and maybe hear about some of the other use cases that you might be exploring. Thank you very much.